When you speak to Pokemon fans of a certain age, i.e. they're old enough to remember when Red and Blue came out, there's usually one thing they'll always be in agreement about. They want a more grounded, more adult, more dark storyline in a Pokemon game. And so far, Game Freak haven't gone that way, so to fill that void, step in Palworld. But is it really just Pokemon with guns? Let's get into everything we know. First up, it's not really an RPG, not in the traditional sense anyway. Developers Pocket Pair described it as an open world survival crafting game, without really mentioning that it also features incredibly similar, but we must stress, legally distinct, Pokemon-like creatures called pals that you can collect, battle with, force into servitude in farms and factories, and even eat. For you see, Palworld is a game that asks the question, what if Team Rocket, but actually smart? What if Team Rocket, but actually a decently run crime and poaching syndicate? In short, what if Pokemon, but a bit more grown up? Because honestly, how would Team Rocket go about capturing a Pikachu in the real world? They'd stock up on AK-47s, hold the trainer at gunpoint, and if the mouse got tetchy, they'd put a few rounds in it to keep it down. Because yes, Palworld's gameplay does allow you to shoot the pals that you're attempting to hunt as well as capture them. And by the looks of it, the more powerful ones will need taking down with a decent trigger finger if the trailer is anything to go by. Combining what looks like the best of Legends Arceus' gameplay loop, going toe-to-toe with creatures that are very capable of ripping your limbs off in one-on-one showdowns, with boss fights that look ripped straight from alpha Pokemon battles, and Fortnite-esque gunplay, it honestly looks like it could be quite a lot of fun. And the monster variety, similarities to other franchises aside, actually looks pretty decent. Palworld has promised to be very substantial when it hits early access, with more than 100 monsters, 350 items, and 70 building types, all thrown into a vast open world that players can explore. And considering the game is launching in early access, you'd imagine there's more to come in terms of pals you can find and catch, and the locations we'll be able to explore. And while we're talking about exploring, there's a whole lot of videos for you to explore on our channel for daily gaming news and views videos, so maybe consider hitting that sub button. It's free, and we'd love to see you here more often. But back to Palworld. Continuing the similarities with other Pocket Monster related video game series, you can even breed your pals together, combining rare genetic types with each other to form even more powerful and weird creature creations. Like Pokemon breeding, only instead you're using fusions rather than just a reproduction of one of the mons, pals. You can even live out your best Team Rocket dreams and literally steal and poach rare pals from wildlife sanctuaries if you don't want to spend the time searching or breeding, although you may come up against some fairly solid resistance if you decide to go down this nefarious route. But as the devs themselves say, it's not a crime if you don't get caught. But, and this is another key point, being a gun-wielding pal collector is only part of the story. Remember, this is supposedly an open-world survival crafting game after all. Palworld also features an extensive base builder and what looks like it could be a decent resource management system. You'll need a lot of pals if you want your base to be the best there ever was. Sorry, I just keep slipping back into that. And once they've helped you get the base up and running, you can keep capturing more and more of these cute little guys to tend your crops and keep your factories manufacturing efficiently. Like the devs say, letting pals do the work is the key to automation. Build a factory, place a pal in it, and they'll keep working as long as they're fed. Until they're dead. And they mean that literally. Look, I said it was dark. Keeping the differences coming, you may want to embrace the poacher lifestyle yourself rather than trying to stop them, and doing that can, it seems, be very lucrative. If you find yourself in possession of a particularly rare or powerful pal, you can sell them on to shady third parties for some decent dollar to keep your pal empire marching forwards. Hell, for the truly experimental or desperate, you can even eat pals if you want to. I don't know why you would, but some people might be into that, and they definitely eat each other, and you'll find help for yourself exploring the ecosystems as you go. So is it just Pokemon with guns? Well, no, it looks like Palworld has at least made some effort to keep it distinctive. With an admittedly mishmash approach to game mechanics and tone, the cutesy art style does seem a little at odds with the subject matter on the whole, but honestly, at least for me, it kind of works. And all this leads up to the fact that Palworld finally has a release date, coming to Xbox Game Pass no less, and on Steam on January 19th in early access. And don't get me wrong, you get plenty of stinkers on Game Pass, but it does feel like a slight vote of confidence that the game has something going for it. Pocket Pair said it expects Palworld to remain in early access for at least a year while it adds new content to the game and makes tweaks and improvements to keep it running smoothly, so we shouldn't expect a full build anytime soon, but from what I've seen so far, it actually looks good. I don't know, maybe it's the old Gen 1er in me, but I'm ready to give a monster catching game with a bit more bite a go. And who knows, maybe Palworld really can be the very best, like no one, god damn it. Anyway, what do you make of Palworld? Will you be giving it a go, or does it all look a bit samey to you? Let us know down in the comments, subscribe if you want to see more like this, and while you're here with us at GG Recon, check out these videos here.